Good morning. It is a beautiful morning outside. The breeze is blowing. It's what, 56 degrees or something. There's a nice little cool front coming in for Laredo. South Texas, when we get the cool fronts, like a high of 70 something, it's time to start digging into the winter clothing. You know, it's all smashed down, wrinkled, because we haven't used it for months, probably before the pandemic, before the shutdown and all that. So if you start seeing people wearing their favorite articles of clothing, you're going to notice two things. One, they haven't worn them forever. Two, they're probably out of fashion. that's how little. That's how little we use them. That's why when I got my leather jacket, I'm like, let's just make it as generic as possible. Let's make sure that quality leather, but that it'll last, stand the test of time. All right. A beautiful morning to everyone today. It is a phenomenal morning, like I said, and we're going to make the most of this morning by looking at inspiration, right? We're going to be talking inspiration today, is what we're going to be talking as I get ready to get this set up here. All right, so I read a passage, and it's from the book of Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Hope and a future. So I decided to do some digging and looking for encouraging quotes of inspiration. And I love to go to success.com. They have so many wonderful articles, and this one is by the Success staff back from 2018. And what I love about this particular article, and well, the site overall, but they're so timeless, the articles and the content. A lot of it is so timeless. And today it's called 13 encouraging quotes to inspire you. 13 encouraging quotes to inspire you. And I'm going to share the link right now in the comments so you can check it out for yourself and um, meditate and think about these quotes on your own time with your own thought process and see your own reactions and where your mind meanders to, where your life experience takes you to when we talk about these particular quotes, these specific quotes. By the way, thank you for watching today. Please drop a comment, click on the like button, and share if you could consider doing that. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, here we go. 13 encouraging quotes to inspire you. Number one is from Oprah Winfrey. By the way, before we start, it says, it starts the article with having a bad day, feeling uninspired, maybe a little lost. On the dark days, these quotes will help give you the encouragement you need to keep going. You've got this. I love it. Plain, simple, to the point encouragement. You've got this. Here we go. Number one is from Oprah Winfrey. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. The ability to triumph begins with you, always. The ability to triumph begins with you, always. And it's so many of these quotes, there's a common thread, right? There's a similarity to a lot of these quotes. And one of the main things that we talk about whenever we talk about any sort of inspiration or any sort of plan that you want to undertake or any decision you want to make is belief in yourself. Doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. The ability to triumph begins with you. You have to remind yourself that you have something to offer to people. You don't need to worry about what anybody else is thinking about you because your life is your path to walk. Your life is full of decisions that you need to make. And you are in charge of where your future is heading. You decide. You decide what your future is going to be. You decide where you want to wind up, what you want to do. And the choices that you make that are going to get you there are entirely up to you. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. The ability to triumph begins with you always. Why is that number one? Because it's talking about the beginning. Everything we do begins with us, begins with our self talk, our affirmations, our beliefs, our decisions, what we undertake, what we consider important, who we consider important, who we're going to listen to, who we're going to value, who we're going to sacrifice for. It begins with us always. The second of the 13 encouraging quotes to inspire you this beautiful Monday morning is by Ogmandino. I will love the light, for it shows me the way. Yet I will endure the darkness because it shows me the stars. There is always light in the darkness, the stars in the darkness. There's nothing sometimes more weird and unsettling than a starless night. You know, it's like, wait, aren't there supposed to be stars? A starless night would be bizarre. Just like that dark time, if ever you face a dark time, if there is no point of light that you can reference, that you can focus on, that you can draw upon, it's weird. It feels weird. But we always have to look inside ourselves. We have to reach back. The only reason to look back is for inspiration. We have to remind ourselves that we are winners. We have completed goals. We have succeeded. We have achieved that darkness that you're going through. If you're having a bad day, if you're feeling uninspired, as it says, these quotes are here to help give you encouragement. I love the light, for it shows me the way. When you have a purpose, when you have a sense of purpose and a destination and somewhere to go, right? It's there. The light is there. It's showing you the way. The clarity of mind, your affirmation, your belief, your hope, showing you the way. Yet I will endure the darkness because it shows me the stars, the beautiful stars. Life when it seems like there is a void. It's great. C.S. Lewis, author. Courage, dear heart. That's simple. Simple quote. Courage, dear heart. Now it goes back to it starting with you. You know your heart. No one knows the heart of man but himself. Heart of woman. Every person's heart, what lies within, what makes them tick, what drives them, what moves them forward is unknown unless it is shared with somebody else. And even then, I wager that very few people share 100% of their heart with somebody else. But you know 100% of your heart. Courage, dear heart. Courage is not being without fear. And again, I'm not saying words. I'm not sharing ideas that are brand new. I'm not sharing, incredible insight that has never been thought of, that has never been shared. I'm sharing it because of its value and its truth. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is facing something, acting upon something in the face of fear, despite fear. Do you have fear? Absolutely. Do I have fear? Absolutely. It is a human condition. I've shared the story before when I was face to face with a full grown tiger whose head was massive. Face to face, luckily separated by steel bars and distance, right? And it looked at me with those beautiful eyes, the majesty of this creature before me, and it looked at me, and I looked at it, and I was entranced, and then it let out a low grumble. it, it, I was like, "Whoa, time to run!" I mean, obviously, I was not in danger in any way. There was a separation between us, a physical barrier between us. Uh, Distance would not have been enough because I'm not that fast, and it is a lot faster than I am. But it sparked a fear in me. That fear in me, that is, the fear in every human. We have fear. It is what it is. Fear exists. And it's not anything that is unique to anyone. Fear is fear. Courage, dear heart, C.S. Lewis says. The fourth one, from a thinker. Well, a lot of these quotes come from thinkers, right? Number 4, Albert Einstein. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. What are you facing? And I know what you're saying. You may be looking at it the wrong way. It's like, no, but I lost the opportunity. That's why I'm going through this difficulty. No, no, no. What was it? What caused that loss? Or the opportunity may lie in you looking at something else. Realizing that you were looking at is not what you are intended to do. Realizing that there may be something else. We don't know. But that opportunity lies in difficulty. Number 5 in the 13 encouraging quotes to inspire you. It doesn't matter how slow you go as long as you don't stop. Confucius. In case you were wondering where Disney or where whoever this person that came up with this, where the basis of it, and maybe Confucius wasn't the first one to say this. It doesn't matter how slow you go as long as you don't stop. What does that boil down to? Keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Unless there's a pitfall, right? But then moving forward means finding an alternate way. If there's an obstruction, are you going to go around it? Are you going to go over it? Are you going to go through it? Are you going to go under it? Keep moving forward. Confucius says it doesn't matter how slow you go as long as you don't stop. Same thing about going through a dark time in your life. If you stop, if you decide that there's no reason for you to move forward, if you decide that there's no purpose in your life, there's nothing to benefit you, there's nothing waiting for you, there's nothing beyond where you are now, and that sense of hopelessness and desperation and anxiety and whatever it is, if it stops you, that is when you no longer can succeed, right? It doesn't matter how slow you go as long as you don't stop. Everything happens in its time, and maybe your time is longer than mine. Maybe your time is shorter than mine. Number 6, Friedrich Nietzsche. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. Think what you want about this particular person and his writings and Superman and everything. This particular quote is loaded. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. How am I going to do this? How am I going to succeed? How am I going to do it? If the reason is big enough, if your family, the love for your family, if the desire to crawl out of a situation that is detrimental to you is big enough, it doesn't matter what you have to do, you can bear almost any how you're going to do it. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. That is, wow, pretty powerful. Think about that one. And I want you to visit this article on your own and meditate and consume and ponder these quotes when you have an opportunity, when you need a little break. Ponder them. Number 7, Theodore Roosevelt. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. Solid. Again, nothing new. The truths are eternal, right? If you believe you can, you're halfway there. Again, because whether you believe you can or believe you can't, you're right. If you believe you can't, you're halfway to stopping. I don't want to say failing if you never undertake it because you believe you can't. But if you believe you can, the quote is, believe you can and you're halfway there. Believe you can. Get back to that why. Why are you doing it? And what are you going to undertake to get that done, to make it happen? Believe you can, and you're halfway there. We're halfway there. It's number 7 of 13. Number 8, Ralph Waldo Emerson. Love his quotes. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Love it, love it, love it. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. My video is shaky right now. Okay, there you go. Yeah. Like I say, every single moment you're alive is another opportunity at rebirth. It's another chance. Who you were yesterday is not who you are today. Who you will be tomorrow is not who you are today or who you were yesterday, depending on your decisions, depending on other people's decisions. But the ones you control are your decisions. Ralph Waldo Emerson. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Wonderful. Number 9, J.K. Rowling, author of the Harry Potter series and more. Think what you want about J.K. Rowling, right? Anything's possible. Start again. Anything's possible if you've got enough nerve. Anything's possible if you've got enough nerve. Courage. Courage, my heart. She touched her inner C.S. Lewis for that one, right? Anything's possible if you've got enough nerve. What's keeping you from doing something? Fear of rejection, right? What is it? There's three fears. I was reading about this yesterday. Three fears. I have a lot of notes. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of public speaking, the three fears that they talked about in the particular session that I'm taking notes on. But what are your fears? A lot of them have to do with fear of rejection. A lot, a lot of nerve, when we get nerves, have to do with fear of rejection. I don't want to, you know, nobody likes to be rejected. So undertaking anything is scary. You might be rejected. Ooh. Really, honestly, ask yourself how much of an impact in your life does rejection really make? Being able to accept a no or a rejection is massive. It is one of the superpowers that you can actually decide to have. Being able to take a no, being able to face rejection. Because other than no, all right, fine. There's 300, how many, 300, over 300 million people in the United States alone. What is it, 9 billion people on the planet right now? Somebody's going to tell you no. Every single moment we're alive is another chance of rebirth. You choose to go past that no and continue forging forward. Anything's possible if you've got enough nerve, J.K. Rowling. Number 10, Buddha. The secret of health for both mind and body is not to mourn for the past, not to worry about the future, but to live the present moment wisely and earnestly. Beautiful words. Beautiful, true, incredible words. I'm going to read it again for you. Number 10, Buddha. The secret of health for both mind and body is not to mourn for the past, not to worry about the future, but to live the present moment wisely and earnestly. Have you ever snapped out of a daydream? Have you ever kind of like, wait, what? How did the whole day pass? How did this year pass? It's November 16th, for crying out loud. Are you living in the moment? And again, every single moment we're alive is a chance at rebirth. Are we living wisely? Are we living earnestly? The secret of health for both mind and body. Here it is. Here's the secret. The secret is not to mourn for the past. Can you change the past? If it was something detrimental to you, to your well-being, to your psyche, to your emotional, spiritual well-being, can you change the past? You can change your future. You can say, well, I'm taking steps. That's your future. And that is your now. You don't even have to worry about the future, this quote says. Don't mourn the past. Don't worry about the future. Live the present moment wisely and earnestly. Now. Right now. Be present in this moment. Hello. Welcome to this moment. Beautiful. Number 11. I had the honor and privilege to see this person speak live. Maya Angelou, poet laureate. A bird does not sing because it has an answer, it sings because it has a song. What is your song? What do you have to say? It's not answering, it's not the be all end all of something. You have something to say. Why do I do Facebook lives? I There could be zero people watching me and it doesn't matter. I'm living right now. A bird does not sing because it has an answer. It sings because it has a song. What I do is as much for me as it is for anyone else who happens to partake in what I do. And I thank you for it. I thank you for watching. I thank you for commenting. I thank you for liking. I thank you for sharing. I appreciate you. A bird doesn't sing because it has an answer. It sings because it has a song. I swear sometimes the birds answer me. I love, you know, looking at animals and I'll say hello sometimes. Why not? Number 12. We're getting close to the end of the 13 encouraging quotes to inspire you. Remember, I shared the link at the on the comments. Eric Hansen. And you ask, what if I fail? No, sorry. And you ask, what if I fall? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly? We may not be able to fly. I once read a book that said flying is just falling and missing the ground. Getting distracted. Whoops, missed the ground. I'm flying. That's pretty unique. But this one says, and you ask, what if I fall? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly? What is that? That's facing, that goes back to courage. Courage, my dear, having nerve. What if you excel at what you choose to take on? But what if I fail? So, what if you fly? It says, what is the worst that could happen if I go all in? Are my dreams worth the struggle? It goes back. Is it worth it? Is your why big enough that you won't worry about the how? How am I going to do it? Doesn't matter. Why you're doing it has to be sufficiently inspirational and significant so that the rest doesn't matter. Number 13. Wrapping up. Ooh, it's an article I'm going to have to look into for a future one. Wrapping up the 13 encouraging quotes to inspire you from Bob Goff, number 13. Embrace uncertainty. Some of the most beautiful chapters in our lives won't have a title until much later. Well, that goes hand in hand with Buddha saying, live in the moment. Live the present moment wisely and earnestly. You're not worried about the future. You are experiencing the now. And then Bob Goff says, embrace uncertainty. Some of the most beautiful chapters in our lives won't have a title until much later. That title comes later. That title comes in the future. It's like, that was the best time in my life. Do you realize it while it's happening? Do you appreciate your relationships? Do you appreciate your children, your significant other, your project, your undertaking, whatever you're creating, the process? What title will that chapter have in the future? How did we deal with the pandemic? How did we deal with shutdown? How do we deal with loss? How did we deal with gain? How do we deal with feeling that we are stuck in a rut? Embrace uncertainty. Some of the most beautiful chapters in our lives won't have a title until much later. Very nice. I loved this article and I loved these quotes, and I thank you for sharing your time with me to just think about these, process these, and share. Feel free to share your thoughts on these. I'd love to hear about them. 13 encouraging quotes to inspire you. I hope you have a wonderful day today. I hope to be back on Wednesday at 8 a.m. and maybe we'll talk about inner strength. I just saw an article on that. I like that. But you never know. I'm not worried about the future. We'll see. Maybe that morning I'll decide it's something else. And that's how it is. But today, live in the now, live in the moment, live it earnestly. If you're having a conversation with someone, be in that moment. Listen to that person. Don't think about what you're going to say. Don't pre-plan what you're going to say. Listen to that person. Love the human being. Love yourself. Because you are worthy. You are worthy to be loved. And you bring so much to this life. Your impact on people is something you may not be aware of. But it's there. Your impact is there. Make today a wonderful day. So, until next time, you have a wonderful day. Enjoy it. Live it. Be in it. And we'll be talking.